In the debate over childcare, there's one group the government admits it knows little about. Nannies care for children in some 30,000 homes, many working off the books without contracts. The Productivity Commission's considering calls to extend the childcare rebate to cover nannies. Norman Hemont reports.
Guess who's here?
In this home, when the nanny arrives, the kids literally jump for joy. And that is what their mother is paying for. Having a nanny 3 days a week costs nearly $40,000 a year. That's the price, she says, for being able to devote more time to her work as a marketing consultant.
When you really trust the person that's looking after your children, I think it just gives you that peace of mind to be able to continue on with your career.
Hey, you should get your blue one on that.
This nanny is working through an agency on a fixed contract, but there are estimates as many as half of Australian nannies work cash in hand, off the books and the tax rolls. After working 17 years as a nanny, often cash in hand, Rebecca Gaskin knows the pitfalls, starting with no guarantee of steady pay.
Parents go travelling with their families, they don't need you, you've got a whole bunch of public holidays in a row, and when you're not working, you're not covered for any of that.
The federal government can only really guess at just how many nannies are working in Australian homes. The accepted estimate is around 30,000, but it could be more.
Parents are resorting to informal arrangements because they can't afford or find regular childcare.
Nannies would be even more popular, says this working mother, if it was easier to get the childcare rebate to help pay some of the cost. With hours too variable for childcare, Tracy Conlon says she'd prefer a nanny. Instead, she's cut back her interior design work to 2 days a week.
Without the rebate, you actually can't afford to be paying that out for the money that you earn. It just, it doesn't equate.
But extending the rebate to cover nannies could cost up to $500 million a year. For the Productivity Commission, that will be tough to swallow. Norman Hermont, ABC News.
Well, for more on this story, I'm joined by the President of the Australian Nanny Association, Danielle Robertson. Danielle, it's good to talk to you.
Hello, how are you, Richard?
Good. Just the childcare provisions attract a tax rebate. Why should nannies also get the same sort of situation?
Look, the Australian Nanny Association has been pushing this because all we want is for parents to have choice. There's the daycare centres, there's early childhood centres, there's family daycare, they all get the rebate. All we want is to extend it into having nannies. There's a lot of clients ringing on a daily basis, 15, 20 times a day. Why can't we get a rebate for nannies? And these aren't rich people. These are people who just want to go back to work and need a part-time nanny 1 or 2 days a week, and to give them choice so that they can actually have their child in daycare maybe 1 or 2 days a week and a part-time nanny 1 or 2 days a week.
There does seem to be a perception that nannies are, as you mentioned, only for the rich and that everyone else has to make do with childcare.
That's a perception that we're trying to change because we have clients from all different socio-economic areas right round Australia, and it's sometimes a necessity. They have no family support, they have to return to work for financial reasons, and there's no other options. So a nanny is another option for them.
Now, you've made submissions to the Productivity Commission. What are you hoping to achieve?
Number one, the Australian Nanny Association has pulled together a submission for the Productivity Commission. We're trying to make sure that the nanny rebate can be opened up, or the childcare rebate can be opened up to all nannies, not just those that are... there is an in-home childcare scheme, but that's very limited to people that can't get childcare anywhere else. And there's only 7,000 places around Australia, and we want to see that opened up. We want to see a quality assurance for nannies to make sure that they meet a minimum standard. We're hoping that the nannies would be registered for the rebate, the clients would be registered for the rebate, nannies will be paid at the award rate, they'll get their super and they'll be fully insured. We make sure that the clients are covered and make sure that they're getting reputable, organised nannies who can do this sort of work, and that then the ATO can data match that to make sure they're getting taxed. So that will in turn increase productivity because there'll be more people into the workforce, more nannies working above board, not cash in hand, and therefore it should increase productivity around Australia.
Because that's something we heard in that story that ran previously, that there are a lot of nannies who are working off the books who are receiving cash in hand.
Correct, and the big issue there is if they need to go and get a mortgage or a personal loan, they're not going to have any proof of evidence that they've been earning an income.
There will be a costly provision for the government to actually now offer a rebate to nannies as well. Is it the best use of taxpayers' money? Should taxpayers pay for other people to have private nannies?
Look, I think as taxpayers, we're all taxpayers, every single one of us. You know, you can claim your computer, you can claim your car. Childcare is just another one of those things to get you back into the workforce. And as I said, it's not just for the rich. We've got people from all over Australia who want the rebate opened up and to give them choice.
There's talk of a wider look at the tax system and also childcare rebates, because at the moment people can get a rebate of up to, I think, is it $7,500?
That's correct. Per child, per
per
annum.
child. Should there be a wider situation where all childcare is tax deductible?
It's an option. We've been pushing this for years, and you know there's been a lot of resistance about childcare as being tax deductible. We'd like to see the FBT taken off for employers. That might encourage employers to then actually help employees with their childcare costs. So that's one area. And once again, it will stimulate the economy by having nannies in real work, earning a real wage, paying their tax, clients working, getting back into the workforce and stimulating the economy. So to me, it's a win-win situation.
Okay, Danielle Robertson from the Australian Nanny Association, thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, Richard.